Welcome back, Armchair Generals. My name is Tom, and I have returned with another hopefully exciting episode of my Japanese campaign in Hearts of Iron 3 using the Black Ice modification, version 10.43. Just started the game, went in a couple hours in game time and saved. Didn't crash, so I know I have a good game ahead of me. It's been a little while since I last visited this game here. I just started full time employment recently, so let me kind of refresh not only your memories but mine as well in regards to the game here. The Eastern Front, Germany has definitely made great strides. Initially, they were getting pushed back as most of their army was down south in Yugoslavia and Greece, more specifically, um, just before the May Barbarossa time. June is when they finally kicked it off, but they didn't have enough forces, and thus Russia kind of pushed against them. But German reinforcements came. Looks like they came from all over, and now they're pushing eastward here pretty well. They just outside of Leningrad's gates, so as such, Finland is now part of the Axis here. If we look at our Axis nations here, you'll see several that aren't normal, but they are my puppets here. So the Axis puppets and allies overall here pretty extensive. The the Finns look to have kind of beginning to push back against the Russian gains that were enforced upon them after the Winter War. Germany overall seems to be doing really good. Um, they've gotten quite a few victory point locations. They got a little ways to go to get to Moscow still, um, and Stalingrad, a little bit of ways there, but they've gotten Sevastopol and they're beginning to make their push. Well, I say they, yeah, there are some German forces, so okay, they'll begin to make their push out of this area and further east here. The Russians don't seem to be getting ready to surrender anytime soon, though. Their surrender progress, as you can see, there is kind of low. I'll have to be keeping an eye on this. I mean, this year for sure, in 1942, Germany really gets a pass in regards to what happens here, though it should be very historical in nature. I actually expect Germany to continue the pressure on Russia here, probably push deep into the southeast here, do a little bit better with Finland's help, tying up the north. Don't know how the center is going to really go, but they got sufficient forces here. Italians are helping out quite a bit as well, so they may be able to push up to Moscow's gates before winter. But we'll need to keep an eye on that overall battle because at some point I may need to draw attention away from pull some attention away from Germany and attack the Soviet Union in their southeast section here. Speaking of this section over here, we're maintaining our battle. There's a infantry division that's just newly formed, so its organization is negligible. We'll be attacking them probably about a month or so just to reduce them again one more time. But we'll keep that pressure on for the next couple of months here until December 7th rolls around. Otherwise, we are doing pretty well so far. There's been a few incursions by partisans and rebels, but we are fairly handling them. We got some reinforcements going up that way. Um, Speaking of reinforcements, we got some up here as well that need to be readdressed. They're heading back. Okay, that's good. Those aren't my ships at all to worry about. Um, so yeah, at this point, we're pretty much just sitting around and kind of waiting for we're sending them over there. Just waiting for war to start here. We've gotten our islands fully reinforced to my standards. I mean, to be ensured of complete control and not have to worry about the Americans coming in on them or anything like that. I would like, maybe two garrison divisions per island, but yeah, this is sufficient for right now. We'll have fleets running around here as well too to help protect what's ours. I'll discuss more probably in the next episode in regards to my campaign advances here that I'm looking at. Suffice to say, we're going to be taking Wake Island, Guam, and making invasions on three different points here, here, and here for the Philippines. That'll be the initial first phase of the Pacific campaign. And once the conquests are consolidated, then we'll push out to phase two from there. Uh, The Allies, UK, etc., don't really declare on Japan till usually a month or three even have passed by. I think the latest I've ever seen the UK declare on Japan has been early March. So I don't know if that's tied to a certain amount of progression that Japan makes here in the Pacific. I don't remember. I don't recall that late of a declaration by Britain. I don't recall how far in I had made my conquests in that campaign against America. Um, Production wise, we're doing pretty good. It says we don't need any reinforcements, so I'll leave that alone. The supplies are pretty much where they are. We want to get back up to 50,000 supplies. Our total IC, you can see, is just shy of 400. We've got two-thirds, three-quarters, more actually, four-fifths almost, of our total IC going into production right now. Upgrades, we're about two-thirds of what we need into upgrades, but we'll be continuing to cut that number down. Earlier this year, we are over 100 and something for upgrades. We've made good strides in making sure that our troops and other forces have been getting continual upgrades, full level upgrades, but also those incremental type upgrades for a little bit of research we've done here and there. Speaking of upgrades, we do have a few upgrades still going on. The Sukaku and Shikaku are going to be finishing up just after let's say a month after we've got war on with the United States. So that'll be an extra carrier fleet that'll be able to set sail and start doing some stuff. We're upgrading some of our air units, as you can see here. We've got a bunch of builds as well. The builds are going along pretty nicely. They're going to go looking even better once we turn to 1942, because I believe was it this year? I don't remember now if I had focused on 1941 builds for infrastructure or not. I'm not sure on that. That may have been last year, perhaps. But in any event, you can see what we've got in our production queue here. We've got quite a few things that should be wrapping up here in the next few months. Most stuff, it's not going to be until next year, though. We are working on our Mountaineer cores. I got about three different cores that I'm going to be building here over the course of throughout 1942, I'd say. We got some tropical island garrisons that will need to be created as well too. In fact, I may need to shoot one up the chain here because I actually needs to shoot a couple up, mainly because with my conquest of Wake and Guam and future Midway, I'll need them in order to hold that territory. It says May of 42 they'll be completed. All right. So it'll be good to have those ready. Got a bunch of planes that'll be built. Those are our specialized light infantry groups corps that I had designed way back in the very start of the game. The last 2 out of 10 that should be getting finished up here pretty soon. So overall, yeah, our production queue is looking pretty swift there. The speaking of technology as well too, overall leadership is decent for Japan at this time. I feel. I mean, honestly, I wish I could be twice as much. In all, in all fairness, um, trying to get my officers back up to 100% ratio before war with the United States starts. Uh, Not that I'm going to lose a lot fighting America, but I just want to. I will be having some losses, obviously, um, to the officers. But in about a month, like I said, anywhere from 1 to 3 months after December 7th, then the UK declares on me, and that's where I'll be suffering a lot of officer losses in the fights in Burma and heading down to Singapore. But otherwise, we're maintaining our research at 60 leadership right now. We don't need any more DI. We're actually sitting pretty good there. Kind of would like to increase our spy level a little bit. But anything that I'm going to be pulling is going to be pulling away from my officers. But you know what? Let's just put it up to 5 or 0.6. There we go. The amount of officers we're getting are 83 a day. So I mean, we're about 22,000 away. We thought we do have. I thought I had another officer. I do have another officer. Where is it at? Officer recruitment program. I just completed 2 or 3 recently. So soon, before war with America, 10,000 officers are going to be joining. You can see they'll be level 2, so I'll be losing a little bit more. That's just another 5%. It's not. This isn't cumulative. It'll be another 5% leadership loss, about 3 more points roughly. Um, and this isn't cumulative either. It's just another 10,000 officers, but it'll give us 10,000 more officers. So 184 plus we'll have a couple hundred more. So we'll be about 185 perhaps. So we won't be close. We won't be at 100%, but we'll at least be in the green. Um, the officer bonus gain. This is cumulative. So whenever that event fires, the amount of officers that will be producing will actually just go up quite a bit more. We'll be over 100 plus a day. Um, so yeah, well, this officer recruitment program should help us get that much closer to the 100% there. But we got a bunch of tech that's going to be actually is really everything here is going to be completed this by this year. Well, no, there's some January stuff, a couple January things. So let's say 95% of all my stuff I'm researching right now is going to be completed this year. There's a couple that will be done next month or in January. Once we get below 60 um, for what we're researching compared to what we need, then I'll go ahead and start diving into further research. I just remember where I left off last time, so I'll just start with what I need to be researching continuously, and that's naval forces. I'll check through all these just to make sure that they are where they need to be in current year. If anything is future year, I won't research it. But if anything is current year or older, then I will go ahead and start researching it then. And then after that, working with IC and leadership, so stuff in nation. And then after that, Air Force, make sure my Air Forces are kept up to date. And then lastly, land forces, doctrines, things of that kind of nature. So without further ado, let's go ahead and kick this off here. I don't think of anything really, yeah, nothing's really needed at this point in time. So let us start zooming forward here. While we're kind of waiting for anything to happen, we'll just keep an eye on what's happening here on the eastern front, like that bird's eye view. Cruiser engine, that's 44 tech. So as I said, now I'm at the point where we have more leadership than we have research. So I'm going to start with all our naval tech in this category here and just make sure everything that I need is current. That's 1940 tech, so I'll go ahead and jump on that. Not going for I know I've said this several times, probably boring everybody by now, but I'm not going to go for the frigate or the motorboat, motor torpedo boat, because Japan, for me, Japan, I'd rather stick with their destroyers. And torpedo boats for that matter. If I were playing the United States or UK even, yes, I would go for those two because they have enough leadership to throw into all those type of categories. I just don't for Japan. I could see doing it if come or at least for frigate, I could see doing it if need be later in the war where I have more enough IC to spend, but not right now. So far, everything looks good. We're not doing a 3x3 reverse. It was mentioned that going back and forth may not be conducive, but as I showed in my videos, each level up you go in a layout increases the bonuses that you get there. For this case, for sea attack and positioning, you use the reverse mainly if you want to switch your layout overall. But whether it's a bug in the game or just my misunderstanding, the way I'm seeing it is as I learn a level of layout, I learn a level of reverse, then they'll give me the next level of layout to be able to research, which gives me improved bonuses than the previous level of layout there. At least that's the way I'm viewing it. That's probably a question better sent to our development team for for this mod to determine if that's the truth of it or not. Going forward, we're not going to worry about pocket battleships. If I were Germany, that would be yes, I'd be going all over that because those are some pretty cheaper battleships to make than sticking with full on battleship or even battle cruisers, but not or even Italy for that matter. But that's I got things to spend my research on. So we're fully maxed out. Oh, naval doctrines. Let's double check here. Yes, everything is good there as well. Industry, heavy armor I need, and that's I'm fine with, and welding I'm fine with that as well too. Okay, we'll let everything kind of sit for right now until I get to another point where I need to fill up my queue again. Yeah, we can see some movement up here for sure along the middle. That's good. South, looking very great as well. Got some units in poor supply. I probably just dropped them off, or that's those guys. Okay. I thought, okay, these guys are coming around. Um, and I think I don't have to worry about anything else. Yeah, those are my midget submarines. It was an event they gave, kind of for free. I mean, it cost some manpower and supplies, if I remember right. So I'll use them in areas where their range will be conducive to be used. In this case, those sail around in this area around Guam just to sink any kind of convoys that may go there. I don't think I have anything else going on that I need to kind of worry about. I got liners there because, like I said, Kwangtung, in case anybody dies and heads back there, I'll be able to ship them out pretty quickly from there. I think I will be getting later on here in Saigon a 6-star general, I believe, that I set up as my leader for the Southeast Asian land campaign here. My truck Garrison Island headquarter guy, he handles the Pacific Island campaign, pretty much all around here as well, Philippines included. So we'll see about that when they'll come. Right now, we're just not doing have to do much. They're still, yeah, they're not growing or anything. Oh, Italy, they're looking okay in Abyssinia, but I mean, honestly, I feel their situation is kind of shaky here. Um, I mean, their units are okay. Considering what they're having to go through, I think they're okay. But honestly, they should have wrapped this all up here, gotten up to this port here, and kind of closed this all off so they could then focus their forces on the west and south. Right now, there's not enough forces in here for Italy to hold Abyssinia for a length of time. They're also not doing too great in Libya, but then again, that's expected. The DAK, Africa Corps, should be coming up, or at least that event should be popping soon for Germany to accept it. I think you have a choice to say yay or nay on it. So I mean, it may be set where the AI might, has a chance of saying no on that. We'll see. Otherwise, they're holding everything else pretty well. Oh, they moved into Tunisia. Interesting. Uh, yeah, it's still free Vichy French. Usually Vichy French has Morocco, Algeria, and Tunisia, but okay. No other movement anywhere else. Okay, all that's doing good. Now we'll put our focus back on to the eastern front here. You can see Leningrad's beginning to get surrounded fully here. That'll be good when that happens. Artillery unit training, that's 38 tech. We'll let that go. Because we will still need infantry tech as well. I don't want to be falling too far behind in that. That's probably also old tech too. Yeah. Oh, we have land combat. Why? Oh, here. Ah, that's right. I got reinforcements coming in. Nothing to worry about there. These guys need to come up here as well. We're gonna kind of reinforce that unit there. They 245. I think they go back to Tokyo because I don't have it there. So rebasing. Kind of a quick look. I've got 4 carrier fleets that, and there's the 5th because those carriers are still, and these are my excess light cruisers waiting for their next carrier fleet to come into fruition. But I'll have 4 carrier fleets fully ready. If we go from top to bottom, you'll see level 6, they are fully staffed out. Light cruisers are looking good there too. That's Shikaku and Tsukaku that are getting fully upgraded. Should be level 6 as well there. Uh, these are my extra light cruisers. I could probably manually upgrade those, but in all honesty, these are my extra light cruisers. They're waiting for a couple carriers, 2 regulars or 3 lights to come their way to staff them out. And with the AI handling upgrades, they may just get their upgrades by that time anyway. That'll be still a while. There's another carrier fleet. I can't upgrade named carriers of this kind of stature, this kind of that started the game, or may have been, say, in the queue, the product queue. They can't be manually upgraded. I don't know if they ever get automatically upgraded by the AI, but it doesn't really look like it because they're still level 1. Honestly, if I had to lose a carrier, sure, I'd be okay with losing level 1 carriers. I don't want to lose any carriers, but Anyway, my light carriers level 6 there. We're already, and the Soryu and Hiryu, the other pair that are also. Oh, my light cruisers are now up to level 6 at this point. Hmm. Well, it's too late now to go through and manually upgrade these, so we are just going to have to be okay with the way they are. Oh, did I say I had a level 6 light cruiser? I think I may have missed. Yeah, I was looking at the Norshiro light cruiser. It's only level 4. For whatever reason, I looked at it and thought, oh, that's level 6. Yeah, we're okay. Um, Battleships. You can see with our ships of the line type units, we have several destroyer fleets that I've got set up to be. Oh, they're extra, kind of like spoilers, if you will. Oh, he needs to be upgraded. There we go. They'll be used to patrol around various parts of my empire. I mean, we'll kind of go through them, but they're strong enough to take on enemy ships of the line. I've had with my destroyers fully upgraded in past campaigns, I've taken out and sunk battleships, enemy battleships. So yeah, these are level 7 destroyers. They aren't anything to sneeze at this point here. I don't know. Really would love to know where my enemy's at, and I could find that out obviously. But for the sake of role playing and being a good gamer and all that kind of stuff, I'm just gonna kind of let it be a surprise when the time comes. I am using my heavy cruisers. Past campaigns, I've thrown heavy cruisers in with battleships. Um, and I don't know. It's hard to say if I've had good effect with that or not. I'm going to take a quick swig real quick. Bear with me. Sorry about that. My throat was a bit dry. I had done some yard work earlier this morning and uh, needed a bunch of needed a bunch of water, but I'm still feeling the effects of the heat wave we have here in Northern California. It's supposed to get up to 100 where I'm at, so it's quite hot outside. Um, this campaign, though, going back to what I was talking about here, I'm splitting up. Battleships will be in their own fleet, battle cruisers in their own, heavy cruisers in their own, just to kind of have a look see at what may be a better fleet composition for my usage here as Japan. And normally I would have 10 ships in a fleet, main ships of the line fleet like this. This time I'm going with 7, so I can go with more quantity of fleets, but hopefully maybe some better quality too. Um, Several fleet battles I've seen, uh, have several fleets in the same sort of area, and more fleets will come in and join a battle that is in progress. The more ships you have in a battle, it's good in the regards that you've got a bunch of guns firing, but it's also bad because whoever your main leader is, they start to lose command and control. So you take some penalties there. So I'm seeing if these smaller type fleets, 7 instead of 10, will help out in those type of situations. So if I have multiple fleets in one area, it's not so much of a penalty. Instead of seeing 50 or 60 ships in one of mine in one area battling, maybe half that. But yeah, as you see, I've kind of done some 2 heavy cruisers, 3 battleships, kind of mixed it up a little bit just to see what composition may work better. Uh, and we've got, like I said, battleships in their own, battle cruisers in their own, etc. The Yamato. I will go ahead and sail the Yamato out on its own with its destroyer escort. I mean, I'm not going to sail it out solo as a solo fleet per se. May have it, with a carrier group nearby or something like that. When the Musashi gets ready, though, and built, then I'll bring the Yamato fleet back, detach a destroyer here, and throw the Musashi on, so I can maintain that 7 ship fleet basis. We got a couple heavy cruisers waiting for destroyers, and we got a bunch of destroyer fleets too. I have that 4 there, so I'm wondering, can we just go ahead and combine these 2 together? kind of like a mini fleet. I have got destroyers being built, obviously, yes. There's a two, four, six, a fleet of seven being built there. So I mean that's an actual fleet that I'm building here. Um, okay, well, let's start another, but say a five fleet, and we'll do that like four times here for the next 3 years. It's not gonna be started till because I've got to go. I want to go through all of these here first before I get to this. Well, not necessarily all of these. Let's drop. There we go. I want to get through all of these first before I start working on the destroyer fleets here. But this way, these will be reinforcements. These will be replacements for any destroyers get lost. Quite honestly, too, the destroyer fleets themselves, they also become reinforcements. So I'll have some extraneous destroyer fleets that'll have patrolling certain areas or moving up into combat and things like that. But as some of my ships of the line fleets um, lose escort ships, I'll pull off reinforcements from say one destroyer fleet and kind of use that. In fact, if I lose in such a way that I have like an extra destroyer, I can throw it on this group there and be just fine. Alrighty, so we're good there. Kind of looking to see how everything's going. Got all my subs kind of ready. I really would like more. I will be having more as we get closer and even into war with America. We'll be getting a bunch of raiders, probably about a dozen that I used to raid the Panama Canal and the western U.S. coast. But for the most part, I use the long range subs for America. Regular subs I use for the islands close, the American islands and other enemy islands close to me. And the coastal subs, similar as well if they got the range. Otherwise, a good majority of them will actually be used for cutting off supply here to the Philippines. But once a war with the UK and I've got Siam, then there'll be a good majority of my coastal subs will be based out of the ports in Siam and just used to kind of run rampant all through these islands here, cutting off supply. The torpedo boats, we got four ready. We should have more coming, I thought. Maybe I did not build any. Yeah, looks like I did not actually build extra. I'm misremembering some of my previous campaigns where, yes, I had done that before. Um, yeah, that's dropped down by a couple points. Good, good. Um, where I had built a couple more torpedo boat fleets. Typically, I just throw them on. I'll throw like two here in these islands. It's just like triggers. An enemy fleet comes in. The torpedo boats are fully upgraded, so I mean they'll do some damage. They'll even sink. Some ships of the line, destroyers. But I'll have two here, and then the other two will be in these islands, just to kind of act as like triggers to let me know once I see a naval, if I'm paying attention. Tom, pay attention. See if I have a naval battle going on. I can kind of poke in and see what's there, and then reroute my stronger fleets towards that battle area to try to engage the enemy. All right, enough talking. Let's observe further here in the Eastern Front campaign and get a little bit further into this game here. Mid-October, I'll go ahead and save the game again. We've got our Gulf of Tonkin back. That was a province that the rebels had taken. So yeah, we get our leadership modifier and research efficiency back again. That's another. I know some people don't like rebels popping up because there's more annoying than anything else. But I mean, that's one thing that the rebels can do is adversely impact you in that kind of regards, where you might lose strategic effects that you've gained because of conquering out provinces and things like that. IC as well if you don't have it properly, covered. I I find that it lends a not only a role playing element, but also lends a role to the game that wouldn't otherwise be there, and that's protecting your rear, making sure that your rear is sufficiently protected against enemy incursions, no matter how minor they may be. So we got a couple of research here. No, all current year. We're just gonna go to 60 and pump the extra into officers. So now we're over 100. Really need that officer event to fire so I can get the 10,000 guys. It'll fire soon though. Military police, current year, or 1938, but nonetheless, winter's coming. We need to get chromite. I thought we already bought chromite. Oh, I guess not. Let's buy it from the UK this time. We don't want to give any money to Russia. I'm looking up top here, making sure they have sufficient funds. and I do. They'll drop me down to 13,000, so that's fine. Chromite, like to use that for, well, it's used for two things actually. Well, IC efficiency for one. I'm trying to remember if it's for naval build speed, which I think it is, or is it the armor build speed? We could find that out real quick, actually. There is, everybody's gotten to this point, watched all my videos, probably knows this already, and he may even be conversant of it as it is. But there's a help feature that was introduced in 10.4 by the developers of this mod, and greatly appreciate this feature. Basically everything that's here is related mostly to the mod, but I mean there's other things as well that's game related too that is good to know. For strategic resources, you can look and see what different strategic resources do for you. Each country has, well, not each country. Um, Almost every major power has one strategic resource, and other countries have, can also have a strategic resource. But you can see what the main one, the primary strategic resources are. Um, I think if you own the strategic resource, you gain the advantage of it. Um, I don't see aluminum on here, but I know I have aluminum. That might be something different that I'm thinking of. But if you have the strategic resource, you can sell it to two. You gain the advantage of it anyway as the primary nation, but you can also sell, I think, to two different nations. So in those cases, like when that event pops up saying, "Hey, you can buy this strategic resource," you want to jump on that pretty quick because I mean the AI, is instant. They won't buy it until the next day, but nonetheless, when the opportunity comes, you want to get it. I see efficiency helps build speed overall. Not build speed per se, but the amount of IC that's required to build something kind of lessens a bit. So very handy. That gives you more IC to be able to spend on production overall. And yes, it does help out ship build speed. So long as I have manganese as well. What's the other one? That was it was blah, blah, that one, molybdenum. I really should learn how to pronounce that. Um, that was buying it from Russia, I think, or something like that. And for armor build speed, I don't need any of that as Japan. So I'll be getting a reduction of the penalty to my armored build speed as Japan, but not that I really need it. This I do need because as actually, no, we're using Vickers steel. So my apologies there. Chromite is only good for us for the IC efficiency as Japan. I'm using Vickers steel, so we need copper. Copper does help with steel production as well. It reduces the negative effect that you get. You can see it here, the Vickers steel, minus 5%. We have zinc or copper, one or the other. Without either, it'd be a 10% penalty to the amount of steel produced in your home territory. With one of them, it's a 5% penalty. With both, there's no penalty. Same with all these here. There's a penalty for everything unless you have the appropriate resource. For the ship build speed, it must be we have copper because if I remember right, we don't have a ship build speed penalty. But I could be wrong on that. It may just be saying anyway. We have IC efficiency, so we can start building stuff, or we can build more things here. Not that terribly much more. There we go. You can see the IC efficiency. Sure, the tank armor. We actually have something else, but not a big deal. Carrier aircraft prototype that dropped off. So now we'll look at our air forces. It's 1941, so we want all 1941 tech or older. 2-engine transport, don't care about that. We have paratroops, but I do need to build some transport planes in order to be able to use them because I'll need to use the paratroops for some pretty quick daring maneuvers. But I don't need to upgrade my transport planes, realistically speaking. I do as Germany though, because I use paratroops quite a bit in my German campaigns. I may have to run a German campaign just to show everybody. Subsonic development, we want this now. Granted, the main focus is jet fighter, increased speed and fuel, and of course fuel consumption. But you'll see the other CAG, max speed, plus 50 kph. Yes, please. Everything that can increase my CAG's capabilities, yeah, I will take all the time. Pressurized cockpit. Once we get to 44, sure thing there. You see CAG, air defense, air attack, air detection, surface defense, ejection seat, pressurized G suits. Wow, pressurized G suits for CAG. Yeah. It must because the consideration is, if you got jets, you should also, your CAGs could also be jets as well. Maybe, I don't know what the assumption is on that. I don't know. But yeah, there's a bunch of stuff here that will in jet tech that will eventually research for our CAGs when we're able to. I guess I do need to go get jet aerodynamic. So I need jet engine. Um, hmm, jet engine research. I need, that's under secret, which is this and that. Okay, so maybe I'm not going to go for that stuff. All right. Nothing else further here. And air systems, looks like we're good to go here as well. All right. So now that we've, oh, and air. I need to look here, my air doctrines. Okay, crew training, increase morale for both the naval bombers, flying boats, and CAG. Much appreciated. Everything else, the port strike tactics, that's for CAG duty efficiency. Anything that says CAG duty efficiency, I will take, because those aren't flat bonuses that are added on top. And no, it's not cumulative. It's just that's what it'll go up to. So whatever it was before, it's going to go up a little bit more. But I will take those little bit extras. I don't do these. The logistical uh, installation, air base, strategic. I don't worry about that as Japan. But everything that says ground duty efficiency, we will take. All right, that's a bunch of stuff here. That's the only thing that I need. All right, any further doctrines? Nothing up here that helps out. Cool. You can see here we have 5 armed merchant cruisers. These are the raiders I was talking about. We will go ahead and launch them. You see what we lose? That supply loss is a bit of a hit. We are going to boost up our supply and actually boost it up that much more. Let's get this up to about, say, 75. There we go. Uh, we'll drop that by a little bit there, by half a point. Once this gets down to 20 or below, or below where I'm at here, then I'll drop this down down to 10. We're probably going to be cruising around in the 20s, I think, in upgrades for the rest of the year. We're in October right now. Kind of would like to get the rest of my builds done, but we need to get our supplies boosted up. I was thinking I need to check something here. So we do have those guys there. That's fine. They're coming up as well. Once this combat is completed, which is getting there, good. Our reinforcements are doing the job. They may not be needed, but I'll still send them up anyway. It's going to take them just a couple days. They'll be in here, and then they'll be able to attack. Huh. Why don't we go here, and then you go there, and then you can go back there, and you can just go back there. I don't need you guys running all over the place here. Okay, everything else is pretty much set at this point in time. Late October is, and maybe this episode, we'll start moving our land forces around, getting them staged where they need to be. Our Marines don't need to really move because, um, for example, these guys, we can reach all the way. Oops, maybe not those guys. Well, the assault, yeah, landing craft, not assault ship, nor auxiliary ships. Okay, landing craft can make it all the way there. You can see the range, lower right corner is where I'm looking. In parentheses, it's 2800 range. Also looking on their card in the upper left, where it says supplied from their location, 2800 kilometers. Selecting them, the range is no more than 2455 to Wake Island. So we can actually make our naval, so long as we can board the proper ships, we can make our naval invasion from our staging base out to Wake, to Guam, to the southern Philippines, northern Philippines too, obviously. So we are good. We don't need to move those guys. But our main infantry units will get some movement around. I'll have to stage in order to support the landings in the Philippines. I'll be staging some troops here, um, Taiwan, that island there, and I think here as well. So that way they can the units can move into where they need to help support the marine invasions on the Philippines, then further complete the conquest. They use 3 corps, total 15 divisions to attack and conquer the Philippines. That might be a lot, maybe more than some people use. But I mean, if you look what I have here, 117 land units, 24 of those, if not more, maybe, are headquarter units, maybe closer to 3 dozen. But still, that's a lot of troops I got. They just aren't really doing anything and aren't going to do anything for a couple months. So might as well have them attack the Philippines. There'll be a bunch of other troops I will go ahead and move and stage here in French Indochina until I can convince Siam to join me and actually take them over. And then they'll be redeployed to Siam. I already have. Um, oh, you don't have a troop. You don't have a leader. We need to address that here. Make sure. Oh, no, they're mountaineers. Okay, they're maxed out. They're maxed out. This may be why they're mountaineers. They're not maxed out. I will use them. They're rangers, but that's fine. They can run through the forest quickly. I already have. It looks like. So one. That's an extra unit that needs to get. Oh, that's right. He's going to get picked up. Two. He needs to get picked up as well. Okay, so I've got 2 units. They just need a rebase there. I had 2 core headquarter units that had started on China. For historical reasons, because the Chinese war was still going on, these were headquarter units that were created for there. And if I was still at war with China, that'd be very helpful to have in that area. But now I'm just going to move them over here to kind of get ready for more units to come their way to fill them out. But I've got 2 core armies here that I'll just put around Hong Kong and attack Hong Kong. That may be overkill. 1 core may be sufficient. Well, we'll see. I don't need to move them. I don't need to move them out of there until November, realistically speaking. But anyway, I'll have 2 core heading south to Singapore. Honestly, 1 core should be sufficient, and that might be what I go with anyway. Because worst case scenario, I can always supplement, a couple marine landings here to take this peninsula easier. But the bulk of my army, um, eventually 3 Mountaineer Corps, 15 divisions there. But the bulk of my army is going to be here, set up in Siam for the Burmese invasion here. I'll have 6, 7 corps perhaps that'll be making that attack into there. They'll leave me a couple corps left over that I will use as reinforcements as need be, potentially attack on Russia. Anyway, we shall progress forward. Officer recruitment program. That's what I was waiting for. I know it says gains 20,000 officers. That can't be right. We're at 175. This brings up to 195. That would be flippin' awesome. I also gained 3 unity. That's also flippin' awesome. The officer recruitment, though, I think that's accurate. Infantry and under officer recruitment. Yeah, it's a plus 35 bonus gain for a total of 60% bonus. Well, maybe that is just a flat out. Oh yeah, yeah, we'll let that go. Maybe that is just a flat out officer gain. Then that may also be a flat out leadership loss too. 77. That would drop me down about 70, maybe a little bit more than that actually. Well, and we're right now currently gaining 102 officers. Yeah, that we were continuing. Let's see what happens. We're at 175. They brought us up to 195. Wow. Okay, so I misunderstood the way that looks. So to note, these are cumulative. Well, I guess it's better to say these are individual increases. We'll have to wait and see how far this drops down. If it drops down like just a couple points, then I know it's just that's not cumulative. It's just a 5% leadership loss additional each time. But if it drops down to like 70, then I know, yes, it is a flat 10% leadership loss there. Our officer gain is up to 105 now. I thought it would have been a little bit more impressive than that. So we should be at a 60% total officer gain for the officer recruitment program. There's a 35% there. Okay, so it looks like the bonus officer gain replaced what it was previously. It's now rank 2. So that tooltip where it says total 60% bonus may be inaccurate. Let's let it go a day here and kind of see what happens. So yeah, it's still showing 35%. And our leadership hasn't taken a dive. In fact, I don't see any negatives there for leadership for officer recruitment program. Hmm. Hmm. We'll puzzle on that. I will go ahead and steal 10 away from the officers. The easiest way is to hit need and then drop it down to 70. There we go. Yeah, strange. We are gaining 15, 16 officers a day. So we're not going to hit our, we need 2,000 more officers, roughly. We're not going to, at 15 a day, 2,000 officers. We could go 100 days, and that would get us 1,500 officers. So no, we're not going to be anywhere close to 100%. Well, we're close to 100%, but we're not going to be hitting that. But okay, so the officer recruitment program I usually kind of poo-pooed. I never really, to be honest, I don't ever do the officer recruitment program for Germany because Germany has so much leadership that if once they start losing officers, you can just swing a bunch of points from research towards officers, and you can easily make up that difference very rapidly there. But as Japan, I do select the officer recruitment program because Japan doesn't have that much leadership, and they need to swing. They need to put a bunch toward research. Excuse me, being the fact that this is 10, 20, and 30, wow, okay. I like that a whole bunch more, which means 1944, unless things are um, so good that I'm not really losing officers, I could see 1944 taking that one next as well. Hmm. Yeah, I don't see where the 10% loss is here. I can even see where it says leadership negative 15. Oh, well. I have some builds. What do we got here? Looks like a naval bomber. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. And it's level 1, so it needs to be upgraded. Well, okay. We'll go and do that. Not a lot of IC. It's not going to be ready till April, though, and that's fine. With pushing those builds that we did up to the top here for the Tropical Island Garrison, because actually I need these guys. I need these guys in January. But okay. Yeah. Mistake. I should have been doing the Tropical Island Garrison builds as soon as they were made available. I should have poked 3 up to the top, and then once they were done, then I could have dropped them to the very bottom because I'll need those 3 for the more immediate captures of American islands. But okay, lesson learned for future. Trade. That's a doctrine. Trade introduction, and it's 43 tech. Yeah, this is starting to look about what I would expect. That's looking kind of rough. But, yeah, that's looking very rough, actually. You don't really have, well, you actually got a bunch of reinforcements there. You should be sending, I know you see sending 1 troop, and that troop's going, but you should be sending more troops. And you got too many on Tunisia, realistically speaking, I feel. Yeah. I would be leaving colonial troops to be holding Tunisia and sending my frontline troops. But it's AI. What can you do? AI feels that they need that. Germany's crossed the isthmus here, and they're pushing that way. And wow, they are pushing across the Don River, and they'll be meeting up. Wow, this is going to go poorly for the Russians here very soon because there's actual like frontline German troops here. Normally, I would see Hungarian, Romanian, Italian troops here in there. So that's Slovakian. I think it's Slovakian. I could be wrong. Or this Bulgarian, actually. Okay. Oh, several Bulgarian troops here. Well, that may be why, too. Very rarely do I ever see Bulgaria partake in the Eastern Front operation. Everything here is looking pretty spiffy. Leningrad, that's a lot of arrows moving into Leningrad there. Hmm. I mean, that's a lot of losses that the Germans sustain, but either they're attacking or they have won the battle and they're going to be moving in. That will be interesting. Yeah, Finland's having an easy time of it here. Normally up here, they kind of generally push. Um, this is interesting up here. I didn't think Norway came all the way across like that. They need to do something about these partisans here, though. Okay, bird's eye view out. Let's see what's kind of going on. We'll keep a closer eye on the northern south. That's yeah, that's not going to go well for Russia. Mountain HQ advance. That's 40 tech. We'll go ahead and leave that. That will give us the opportunity to get some more leaders. I would say no to that. Let me double check. Yeah, I don't need them. No need, because I already have 4 corps and a army headquarter. That's all I need. I'm going to be just building 15 um, mountaineers, so 4 in each. One will have 3. That'll be sufficient for what I need them for in Burma and India. You may be asking, Tom, your Mountaineer builds aren't going to be ready until like late 42, early 43. Well, yes, at least in my campaigns, my history, it typically takes me a long time to get through Burma and eventually into northern India as well, Nepal. So yeah, those Mountaineers will come in handy soon. Not soon enough, but soon. Whoa. So we have Tojo. Um, that's all good. Our unity is going way up. We'll need to make some changes, but we'll wait a few days. Battlecruiser armor thickness. Okay, so that drops us even to 70 there. Politics. So head of government, land organization. I think I want something different. Yeah, this guy. I need naval organization. So sorry, Tojo. He's chief of staff. I think that's okay. Organization regain rate. What I had previously was Abe. That's soft attack. Ooh, yeah, that's yummy. Attack and defend reinforced chance. That's just simply if you have more units in a battle than you have the frontage for, that's the chance for them to join in, depending upon if you're being attacked or you are attacking. That's that chance. Organization regain rate. That's in the middle of a battle. Not necessarily if you're in the actual battle itself, attacking or defending, but if you're in the reserve, that's your organization regain rate. If you hover over a unit that's in your reserves on say their organization, it'll tell you what their percent chance is. I don't know if that's a per hour or like per day. I don't know what the timing is on that. Um, but I like that idea better. Yeah. Chief of the Army. Yeah, 5% speed. There's a defend reinforced chance anyway, 15%, so that's good. Don't care about the mobile unit practical decay, though that would be for cavalry. Artillery practical decay, though, that's nice. I think I had, was it this guy I had for the manpower, increase of manpower? Yeah, that's still not showing a negative. Huh. Okay. Well, so they're both the same. Sure, we'll leave him in place there. I don't think I want to change anything here. There isn't anything. I mean, I could go from limited restrictions to, say, repression, but we're not having to put any IC towards consumer goods, so that's no big deal. Repression would increase our counterintelligence, would lower our IC, though, 3% drop. A little bit of drop in a bucket, nothing much to speak of. The IC efficiency would also drop by 3%. A little drop, but nonetheless As much IC as I am spending, that could be considerable. Totalitarian system. I don't like that. So no, we're fine where we are there. 3-year draft. I could see going to service by requirement to improve our national manpower, but the hits we would take to IC, that's a 6% drop there. Money, not a big deal. We're gaining enough. Daily descent. Resources would get hit too. Yeah, no, we're going to leave that alone. Total economic mobilization. That's what I was hoping for because that's a 1941 only. Um, you have to be at war as well. We met the one requirement, so the other one, yay. Massive education, we're going to leave alone. Heavy industry emphasis, we're going to leave that alone as well. Propaganda press, we can't do any better. There's no need to go backwards. Specialist training, leave alone. Massive conscription, again, I'm only going to go to emergency conscription if things start going poorly for the Japanese war machine. Somebody had commented on one of my previous videos, previous episodes, where I had spent 1,000 manpower for IC. I think it was for IC efficiency, and something else too, I believe. But anyway, it's like the annual. Where do you want to, focus your manpower? And you spend 1,000 manpower to go ahead and do so. I felt it was certainly worth giving up 1,000 men to improve my productivity overall. We'll see next year. I may not pick that same thing next year, because quite honestly, at this point now, I have enough. I have enough manpower in my past campaigns historically. I have more enough manpower to handle the losses coming my way and the builds coming up. Well, I already put all the builds in the queue that I need for the coming year and a half. Though I may have some more naval builds, but yeah, we're okay with our manpower. Otherwise, I think we're all right with everything else that we're at this point. Yeah, everybody's who I want right now. The naval organization. I think those are the only ones. Yeah, that's 20% increase to naval org. That's very very handy. Um, if we take a look at say a carrier, you can see the organization there, 350. Um, I'll grant you, in naval battles, your ore gets chewed up quite rapidly, depending upon the situation, of course. But you can lose ore quicker in naval battles than you can on land battles. Um, so the more org that your naval units can have, the better off you are. Our destroyers, you can see, they're at 244. Our cruisers rather at 244. Light carriers, they had 312, so not quite as potent, or they're not quite as tough in that regards to the carriers. Destroyers, 244 as well. Let's pick up a heavy cruiser. They're 243, so heavy cruisers are similar to destroyers in that regards. Battleships, 230. Oh, wow. Oh, those are older battleships anyway. Yamato, what's Yamato at? 223. Okay. So battleships don't have as much organization. Um, and I haven't built any other battleships. Our battle cruisers are at 230. Interesting. Okay, did not know that. Let me save the game. Said about mid-October, so we'll go ahead and save the game here. I know I haven't gone that far yet, and I do apologize. Next episode, we'll go much further. We'll get to the point where I'll be moving my troops around, getting them ready. November, and in November, the episode following, is when I'll go ahead and actually move my fleets around, get them staged and ready. But we're doing all right. As Japan, Germany is doing very well. They're about to surround Leningrad. They're pushing in southeast here and handling Russia. I don't know if they'll make it to Moscow before wintertime. That's quirky. Moscow's up here. Or wait. Okay, now there's Moscow. They actually are pushing pretty close to Moscow. They may get to them before winter for the snows fall. So hey, that could be good. We'll see how that works. Italy needs lots of help over here. Germany. Oh, there's the Africa Corps. Okay. Germany loaned them the Africa Corps.
German officers are so much better. Why would you do that?
Abyssinia, as you can see, yeah, they're not long there. Okay. Well, I appreciate everybody watching up to this point here. Next episode will be a bit more exciting. I'll talk less, I promise. But I do appreciate everybody watching and bearing with me in regards to my talk nature. I will see everybody next episode. So, everybody have a great day. Take care.